Guys, I got to tell you, 2025 is taking absolutely no prisoners. I mean, this year has started off so strong with a multitude of studios that are closing down. Game developers are losing their jobs. It is a massacre out there. It really is. We have an article here from VGC that says Dauntless and Fae Farm Studio Phoenix Labs is laying off the majority of its staff. And keep in mind, this is not the first layoff for this studio. It's not the second. It's not the third. It's the fourth round of layoffs for this studio. And this one is the biggest one of all. Now, I've personally played Dauntless. I never played Fae Farm. I thought Dauntless was okay, but ultimately it was just a free to play, Monster Hunter at that point. But this studio is just another round of other studios like Ubisoft, for example, that just recently closed down their Leamington studio. It is wild out there, and we're going to talk about it. So let's get into this article, guys, from the VGC. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I will greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, Dauntless and Fae Farms. Again, I never played Fae Farm. I played Dauntless, thought it was okay, but overall, not that big of a deal. Now, here's the interesting thing. Phoenix Labs says that it will share what will happen to Dauntless and Fae Farms in the coming weeks. I gotta imagine that it's not going to end well, right? I got to imagine that most likely whichever the one is going to be less profitable is going to be shuttered, and they're going to keep the more profitable one live because they don't have many developers left. As we get into this article, you're going to realize this studio basically got nuked from the inside out. Dauntless and Fae Farm Studio Phoenix Lab has announced another round of layoffs, this time affecting the majority of the studio. The studio suffered layoffs and project cancellations last May, with an engineer claiming at the time that about 140 employees have been impacted. I gotta ask the question. I don't know how much money Dauntless and Fae Farms was making. Clearly, it wasn't enough because obviously they're doing layoffs. But the simple fact of the matter is, I don't know how much money they were making for them to have over 140 employees. That's absolutely insane. What is with this bloat in the gaming industry? What do these people do? I can't imagine that this game would require 140 employees, but I guess whatever. I really Wow, I just don't know, man. Now, a second round of layoffs has been announced, with Phoenix Labs confirming that most of its staff is being let go. Today is another difficult day at Phoenix Labs, a statement reads. We have made the tough decision to part ways with the majority of the studio as part of unfortunate but necessary changes to our operations. How are you going to operate when you let go of most of your studio? That's what I'm curious about. I don't understand how they're going to spin the narrative on this one. It seems to me that you're getting ready for closure, and you're just getting rid of people to make it a little bit easier to close down the studio because you let go of most of the people. So how are you going to do this? We recognize and deeply appreciate the contribution of every individual impacted. Their talent, dedication, and creativity have left an indelible mark on our company and our video games. Phoenix Labs says it will update players on what the layoffs mean for the future of Fae Farms and Dauntless. For now, our focus is on supporting those affected through this transition, it says. To our industry peers, we encourage you to reach out to these exceptional individuals. They are some of the best in the business. Well, if they really were. You know what's amazing, man? I don't mean to be that guy, but I find it hilarious that every single studio, whenever they're firing so many people, they're always like, yeah, these are the best people in the business. They're so amazing, but we're letting them go. It's like, how are they the best in the business and they're all being fired? How are they the best in the business and you're letting them go? Clearly, if they were the best in the business, you guys will be rocking. So they're clearly not the best in the business. Maybe you can argue maybe it's the executives, maybe it's bad leadership from up top. But at the end of the day, if these people were truly the best of the best, then you got to be kidding me when you're saying this as you're firing them. It just doesn't make any sense at the end of the day. The company was formed in 2014 by a trio of ex-Riot game developers. Phoenix Labs has released 2 titles to date: 2019's massively multiplayer RPG Dauntless and last year's cozy farm simulator RPG Fae Farm, both of which were generally well received by critics. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. If the critics love it, chances are it was probably a dud. Now, again, I've played Dauntless. I thought Dauntless was okay, but I just couldn't escape the fact that it felt like a really, I don't know, at the time, I just felt like a really simple, just ghetto Monster Hunter. I really don't know how else to explain it other than that. According to its website, it did have several new projects in development, spanning a wide range of styles and genres, and fantasy, sci-fi, action, strategy, and everything in between. This marks the second significant instance of industry layoffs this week, following Ubisoft's confirmation that it plans to lay off 185 employees in Europe as a result of wider restructuring efforts. So again, the reason why I'm bringing this up, okay, is because quite simply, it's the way that 2025 is starting off. 2025 was supposed to be the turning point for the gaming industry, according to the Uranalist, right? They said that the grifters were being left in 2024, that the YouTubers who are just haters are being left in 2024, and the gaming industry is going to make a return to form in 2025. You guys are not off to a great start. I got to be honest with you. You guys are getting absolutely cooked, and it is not going to be the end of it. I'm telling you right now, just wait until Ubisoft ends up getting sold. It's only a matter of time. Whether it happens this year or next year, it's going to happen. Ubisoft is absolutely cooked. There are going to be other games and other titles that are going to come out that are going to absolutely flop, and we are going to sit here and celebrate every single flop. We're also going to sit here and celebrate every single win. We've already had some amazing wins this year, right? Ninja Gaiden, even though it's got a little bit of, controversy regarding some supposed censorship and a lot of missing content, a lot of people are celebrating that game for bringing back a return to form of old school gameplay like Ninja Gaiden 2. Right? So people are excited about that. I'm excited about that. I just got gifted it, thankfully. So shout out to the Bigot Army, and I'm going to play it, no doubt about it, on Griffcast. But still, I'm excited about that. There's plenty of things out there to celebrate and be thankful for, but there's also going to be plenty of things out there that are going to continue to flop, and you need to make fun of it. You do, because these developers are the only way they're going to learn is if the outside world makes fun of them. Because inside those development studios, it's nothing but toxic positivity. Inside those studios, it's nothing but everybody patting each other on the back and pretending like everything's okay while there's fire around them. So the only way these developers are ever going to learn or want to speak out and talk about it is if you guys actually speak out and talk about it. Like us, like you, everybody. We need to get together and talk about this. So, it's sad. It is sad at the end of the day. Shout out to Dauntless and Fae Farm, Phoenix Labs. I don't know what you guys did. I don't know if there was any DEI in those games or anything. Like I said, when I played Dauntless, I didn't see that. I didn't see any massive amounts of DEI or anything. So it just seems like poor mismanagement. And it seems like ultimately that these developers didn't give the fans what they wanted, either fast enough to make their live service game a thing or, good enough to make them want to stick around. It's usually one of the two. I wonder what the player base numbers are for this game. I haven't had a chance to look this up. I got to imagine it's not very good. And I don't know which one's more successful. Either it's Dauntless or Fae Farms. Probably Dauntless if I had to guess. But then again, these little, cutesy farming simulator games are very popular amongst women if you could land yourself in there. So it just depends. But ultimately, we have another studio layoff. It's 2025. The gaming industry is hemorrhaging, and it just gets worse and worse from there. And I really don't know how they are going to make it better. I really don't at this point. We are celebrating indie games. We are celebrating AA games. AAA games, on the other hand, it's a bloodbath out there. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate if you get to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.